From the first female doctor in the U.S., to the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, to Kmart filing for bankruptcy. Here are just a few of the things that happened during this week in history, the fourth week of 2023, January 22nd through January 28th. This is Unexpected History. The forerunner of the Central Intelligence Agency, the Central Intelligence Group, was founded 77 years ago on January 22nd, 1946. January 22nd is the 53rd anniversary of the maiden commercial flight of the Boeing 747, the world's first jumbo jet. 21 years ago, on January 22nd, 2002, Kmart became the largest retail company in U.S. history to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Elizabeth Blackwell became the first female doctor in U.S. history 174 years ago, on the 23rd of January, 1849, after being awarded her MD from the Geneva Medical College of Geneva, New York, the only medical school willing to accept her application. On January 23, 1957, the Wham-O toy company bought the rights to the Pluto platter, what we now call the Frisbee, from American inventor Walter Frederick Morrison. January 23rd is the 27th anniversary of Madeleine Albright becoming the first female Secretary of State in U.S. history. (1,982 years ago, on January 24th, 41 CE, Claudius was pronounced the new Roman emperor by the Praetorian Guard, after his predecessor and nephew, Caligula, was assassinated by that same Praetorian Guard. January 24th is the 175th anniversary of the beginning of the California Gold Rush, when carpenter and sawmill operator James W. Marshall reported finding gold near Sacramento. On January 24th, 1989, 34 years ago, Theodore Robert Bundy was executed by electric chair at Florida State Prison, a well-deserved fate for perhaps the most infamous serial killer in U.S. history, with over 30 known victims. American journalist Elizabeth Jane Cochran, better known by her pen name Nellie Bly, finished her around-the-world trip 133 years ago on January 25, 1890, a trip that was undertaken in emulation of the Jules Verne novel Around the World in 80 Days, although she did it in 72 days. The company Blue Ribbon Sports was founded 59 years ago on January 25, 1964, by Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman, two University of Oregon track and field athletes. Just over 7 years later, Blue Ribbon Sports changed its name to Nike. January 25th is the 27th anniversary of convicted murderer Billy Bailey becoming the last person in the United States to be executed by hanging. An official distinction between Roman Catholicism and Protestantism is established by the Council of Trent 459 years ago, on January 26, 1564. January 26th is the 186th anniversary of Michigan becoming the 26th U.S. state. The largest diamond ever found, the 3,106.75 carat Cullinan diamond, was discovered 118 years ago, on January 26, 1905. The first public university in the United States, the University of Georgia, was founded 238 years ago on January 27, 1785. January 27th is the 56th anniversary of the deaths of astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee when the Apollo 1 command module was destroyed by fire during a test of the spacecraft. That accident happened on the same day that the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union signed the Outer Space Treaty, which banned nuclear weapons in space while also limiting the moon and other celestial bodies to peaceful purposes. The excitingly named white dwarf H1504+65 was documented with a surface temperature of 200,000 Kelvin, or 360,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 years ago on January 27, 2011. It was the hottest temperature ever measured in the known universe at the time, although that has since been surpassed by the equally excitingly named white dwarf RX J043.8-6809, which was found in 2015 with a surface temperature of 250,000 Kelvin, down from a theorized 400,000 Kelvin a mere millennia ago. "210 years ago, on January 28, 1813, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice was first published in the United Kingdom. Although not my cup of tea, the book is often considered one of the best books ever written." Walter Arnold of East Peckham, Kent, became the first person ever convicted of speeding 127 years ago on January 28, 1896, for going a blazingly fast speed of 8 miles per hour in a 2 mile per hour zone. He was fined 1 shilling plus court costs for the offense. I apologize for ending the video on a down note, but this is one event that must be noted, even if it's a sad one. January 28th marks the 37th anniversary of the destruction of the Space Shuttle Challenger 46,000 feet above the Atlantic Ocean, a mere 73 seconds after liftoff from Cape Canaveral. All 7 astronauts on board were killed, although it's believed at least some of them survived until the crew compartment impacted the water at terminal velocity. It was the first disaster of an American spacecraft while in flight. I was in my sophomore algebra class watching the launch on TV at the time, mainly because teacher Krista McAuliffe was actually part of the crew. As someone who had, at the time, briefly entertained becoming an aeronautical engineer, I was devastated. My schoolmates, however, were already making jokes about it by lunch, which was the next period. As always, I have to thank Jack, Katrina, and Sue for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click on the link tree in the video description to find the way that works the best for you. One of the best ways you can support the channel, however, is simply by liking the video and subscribing to the channel to help it to get seen by more people. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. Until the next time, may your days be pleasantly unexpected.